What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to break down what's going on with the overall market and how it may affect NIO and what my price prediction is for tomorrow. And before I break anything down about this, before I get into any more details about what could happen to NIO's share price going forward, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you're guaranteed 7 free stocks plus free level 2 data. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 2 weeks. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So NIO is down about 2% for the day, and overall it's not looking too good as NIO is showing lots of signs of weakness as time goes on. But you have to remember that the whole market was actually quite down today, at least to some degree. We did get an end of the day bounce, and NIO did also bounce with the market, but overall it is still technically a red day since we actually got this big gap down to start us off. Now, why is the market gapping down like this? Why is the market just super fearful during a time like this? And a lot of this is actually happening because of the banks. Right now, the banks are just going through some very difficult times. We're seeing lots of stress for Credit Suisse. And now, actually, it was just announced that Swiss National Bank is going to be providing Credit Suisse with liquidity if it is necessary. And now it's under a lot of pressure, especially the stock, as this bank may actually collapse right next. So this is not good news for people that are, that have a lot of money in banks. This could lead to some contagion in the future. And this is going to be very negative for the stock market because the finance department is pivotal for market performance. This is also very similar to a lot of things that happened in 2008. Now, looking forward, right now there's a lot of fear in the markets, causing lots of people to panic. But I do have a theory about what could actually happen just to close the week. I just want to note that for the medium term, for the next couple of weeks, for the next month to month and a half, I'm very bearish for the stock market. I think the stock market is actually going to take a huge hit very soon. But before the hit comes for this week, there's a good chance that the market might actually hold up and maybe even rally a little bit because of quadruple witching. Quadruple witching is going to be happening this Friday. We have 3 million puts expiring on Friday. Max Pain is at about 399 for SPY. We also have a 1.92 put to call ratio. What else is worth noting is the triple Q or the QQQ has been holding up relatively well. Tech is not necessarily like tanking as hard as different sectors. So what I'm thinking is, look, be prepared for anything. If the market's going to crash, the market's going to crash. It is what it is. But before the real crash happens, there's a good chance, the market makers are going to hold the markets up and maybe try to pump the markets a bit. And then this is how the week is going to close pretty in a very strong manner before the real crash starts. That's just my theory. If you think I'm crazy, well, look at something else that happened today. Look at how the market moved today. We obviously had this gap down in the very beginning. The market was just trading sideways. Then we saw SPY come all the way down to 383, very important support. Then we bounced off of it and we saw a bit of a rally from there. We actually rose $7 and we saw this huge candle at the end of the day. The market pumped very hard at the very end, and it just shows how the market makers still have control. And SPY was down 2%. It actually closed down only 0.6%. So it actually pumped for the second half of the day despite coming down. We also have this unfilled gap very close to almost 390. We're likely going to see this thing pump to fill the gap tomorrow, most likely. It also depends on lots of data that's coming out. Now, I also want to note that for NIO, unfortunately, NIO has been underperforming. Where's my NIO chart? Sorry about that. NIO has been underperforming relative to the market, but NIO has this gap up here, which could actually help NIO pump just a couple of cents. If anything, it's not even that far to about the 8.4 zone. Maybe NIO is going to try to push for the mid $8 zone after bouncing off $8 flat. It's very possible. It looks like NIO might try it, but overall, if you look at the bigger trend, like even if NIO does bounce and try to hold up for the week, the bigger trend is not looking good. right? Now we have this new resistance line NIO is going to test around the very mid $8 zone. And also, it's just continuing to decline as volume is now slowing down bit by bit. On the daily, this is what the daily chart is looking like. The daily candle looks like NIO might try to bounce. We might try to see NIO bounce to fill this gap and get to the mid 8s. I think that's going to happen tomorrow. But just remember, now we have a lot of resistance. We have some resistance around 8.33. I think we could break that. Then the next resistance is going to be in this 8.5 zone because now we have to retest this new resistance trend line. If we could break that, then there's 8.7, then $9. I think NIO is going to get stopped at around the very mid 8s. It's not going to become as volatile. But overall, the bigger trend is still in favor of the bears. Look at how NIO has been declining, and the whole market is likely going to take a huge hit. This is most likely going to smack NIO down, unfortunately. The same thing is going to happen to Tesla. It's going to happen to like AMC, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia. All these stocks are most likely going to get smacked down soon. It's not just NIO. And that's why I have to warn you all. $8 is very important. If NIO fails at 8, then there's 7.72, 7.2, $7. Then finally 6.5 is going to be very strong support. We could see NIO start to come down to these levels as time goes on. I want to warn everyone about that. All right? Why? Is it because NIO is a bad company? No, it's not because NIO is a bad company. The whole market is tanking, and the whole market is likely going to tank. For this week, the market might hold up. NIO might try to fill this gap, hold 8.5, try to hold up for the week. But going into next week and beyond, going into April and May, there's likely going to be more downside. I want everyone to be prepared for that. Now, looking at some data, we had average volume. NIO did drop on average volume, and our short volume is continuing to go up, meaning that the shorts are piling in, and we're actually seeing a larger percentage of the volume being made up by short volume. We're also seeing the price pairs ratio declining because NIO has relative weakness. It's very weak compared to the collective market as of right now. There's not too much else going on. NIO does tend to be green only about 51% of the time on Thursdays, so we do tend to do a little bit better on Thursdays. So I'm hoping that NIO does get a somewhat green day, maybe a very flat day. I'm not counting on it being too big. We did see a lot of shorts pile in very recently. Millions of NIO shares were being shorted. We are seeing the short interest decline a bit, but overall, I do believe we're going to see more spikes as time goes on. Now, finally, when it comes to NIO is reminding us that they have amazing, amazing cars, amazing technology. The ET7 has amazing, amazing wheelbases and widths. They have lots of space for people. The cars look very aesthetic and cool. I'm very bullish on NIO for the long term. Tesla is also a great company, for example. So is Apple, and these stocks are likely going to tank as well. So it has not a lot to do with fundamentals, as NIO is getting much stronger fundamentally. I do believe the fundamental aspect of the collective market is going to play a bigger role and cause the downside. But when I talk about fundamentals for NIO, I want to note that their deliveries are expected to continue to increase. More models are going to be coming, and they're getting better and better at building and updating the power swap stations that keep on coming out. The battery swap stations are continuing to grow, and I'm very bullish for NIO's long term. I see this as a very good buying opportunity as time goes on, especially because we could buy these shares at much lower prices. Now, let me remind you about something else. Zooming out of NIO, this thing was at $1. This thing was at $6, right? A long time ago, if we time travel back to 2021 when NIO reached $70 a share, we were wishing we could buy this thing at like $2, $3, $6, $7. People were wishing that. And now we have the chance to do it again because it has the potential to retest all-time highs and break them as years go on. So this is a very good buying opportunity. And that's why I'm very excited for it. So with that said, I just want to let everyone know that for tomorrow, NIO might try to bounce a bit, fill the gap in the 8.4 zone, try to get to the mid 8s, but not really too much upside is what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing it trading a little bit flat for the most part. We have lots of resistance ahead of us. I think NIO might hold up for this week, but going into future weeks and the medium-term future, like in 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, I'm seeing more downside for the stock market. And this is most likely going to drag NIO down. I want to warn everyone right now, so you are prepared for this. All right? Thank you all so much for listening. Let's hope NIO holds up and gets a somewhat green day for tomorrow. Until then, I'll most definitely see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon because the long term future is still incredibly bright. And peace out.